Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. This is Unconventionally Italian, and my name is Carlo, and this is
Josephine.
Yeah, we're brother and sister, and we thought, you know what? Everyone makes a podcast about growing up in an Italian family in the States, so we'll do the other way around. Growing up in an American family in Italy.
Yeah.
So we're both from Naples, Italy, and that's where we lived most of our life. Even though I was born there, but you were born in
Frankfurt, Germany.
Yeah,
so we are military brats. Our dad used to be in the military.
I mean, I was gonna say you're not really Italian, so technically you shouldn't be here. Go back to.
Hey, I have a passport to prove it. So
Yeah,
I'm just as Italian as you are.
No, I was born there, so I have the.
Your mom was born there.
Bragging rights, yeah, of course she was. So in our case, our father is American, our mother's Italian, and we pretty much grew up. We grew up in not really Naples, but was about 40 minutes out.
Outskirts of Naples.
Yeah.
Technically, it's Provincia di Caserta.
Yeah, so it's not
but
really.
we identify as Naples.
We identify as Neapolitans. And yeah, so we grew up there, and then at a certain point when we got old and fragile and stuff like that, she and her current husband moved away, and they live now currently in Austria, and say Vienna, right?
Vienna, Austria.
Live in Vienna, and I also live in Vienna. So I moved away I think 2 years after you.
Yeah, we imported you.
Yeah, the biggest mistake of their life, and I don't know, and so I moved here, and I've been here for 15. Let's just say 15 years, and you've been here what, 16 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and. As I said before, the podcast is literally about us growing up in an Italian town, city, which, by the way, the town we're from is called Pineta Mare, or
Castelvolturno.
Yeah, provincia di. Is it considered provincia? No, comune di Castelvolturno. So the main town, like the town where the mayor. What do you say? It's called a district. I don't fucking know. It's called Castelvolturno. We live in a small town.
Such a ghetto area.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't even know if it's Italy anymore.
And even though we live very far away from there, I mean, I don't know about you, but I still call it home. Yeah. For me, it's still home, even though it has a multitude of problems, which is one of the main reasons why we moved away. And then our other sisters moved away, and then my parents also moved away. They live in the States. They live in Florida, and we live here. But so we were used to that, and we grew up in an American environment. Our father's American. We had there still is a lot of American military families there. So we grew up in a very Americanized environment, which is why our English is so fantastico. Also our Italian, even though when I speak Italian, people tell me they can hear a little bit of an American.
No, they're full of shit.
American
they're
thing
full
going
of
on.
Shit. You got no American accent.
They look at me like, do you have mental problems, or do you? I'm like, no, I'm also American. He's like, so you do have mental problems.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, well, that's true. That's why I'm going to a therapist. Shout out Federica, best therapist on the planet. Look. She changed my life. We'll get into that another time, so it's not really important now. But yeah, let's continue. So, basically, the reason why we're doing this podcast is, as I mentioned before, because I always see, we watch all of the half couples in the States, like a husband is Italian, wife is American, or the other way around. So there's Carlo and Sara. There's the Pazzinis, shit.
I don't know their names.
You know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
right?
I follow them. I like it.
Amore. They're I think they are my favorite one, my favorite couple.
The one from Veneto?
Yeah.
He calls his wife Amore all the time.
Yeah.
I call my kids Amore.
Yeah, I call my kids Amore too.
And then everyone's like the Austrians look at me and they're like, oh, Amore. And I'm just like, I don't even do that on purpose. It just comes out that I call him Amore, and then I guess that's part of the stereotype, right?
I don't know. Did
calling people Amore?
But because that's the thing. Because a lot of times, like in Italy, I don't call my guy friends, hey, Amore, because they probably get into a fist fight. But it is common, that like girls, for example, to their friends they say
Call each other
Amore,
tesoro,
tesoro, amore. I just would say to my friends, "Chi da morto" mostly. So
or mamma.
Or mamma. So shit. What the fuck was I saying? Wow, I completely lost track of what I was saying.
People that we follow that are on
that's
social media.
Exactly. Thank you. So so we see also like growing up Italian. I listen to it occasionally. It's what was his name, Sabino, and the other guy, which I think they're also from Napoli or Salerno, but they were born and raised
Sicilian.
But you know who I'm talking about?
The growing up Italian ones.
Yeah, I think there's like just two hosts, and occasionally have other people on.
Okay, I started following them recently because you sent me their link.
Yeah.
And I mean, they are the typical Italian Americans in the States. So they know like just the Italian that they speak is like dialect, and it's really heavy accent, and they're like, "Oh, I'm Italian. What do you want? Bada boom, bada bing."
Actually, I'm
typical, stereotypical.
Yeah, they do talk dialect a lot, but actually, for considering the fact that they grew up it's actually not bad.
It's pretty good Italian. I mean, one of them speaks pretty bad. The other ones, I mean, I just started following, so I can't. I don't know the names, but the girl, she speaks it pretty well. But whenever they say words like "shvuyadel,"
yeah, but that's a New York, New Jersey thing, isn't it? Like shvuyadel.
Get the shvuyadel. Get the shvuyadel.
Gabagool.
It's shvuyadella.
Gabagool.
If you want to say it in Nepal, then ashvuyadel. But you gotta say it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's more of a thing that it's actually it's become part of the vernacular. Like they just pronounce it like that because everybody else pronounces it like that. So if you say sfogliatella, they'll be like, "I'm sorry, what are you talking about?" Sfogliatella. So I kind of get it. Even gabagool.
Gabagool.
Gabagool. I always remember there was somebody made so they have the intro song to the TV show The Sopranos.
Yeah.
And there's this guy. I was like, I gotta get the gabagool. You've seen that?
No, I don't watch The Sopranos.
No, I didn't really watch it that much either, but somebody like remake, because that's all they talk about is like, hey, you get the gabagool, gabagool. It's all they fucking, like the 90% of the words they mention in that show is gabagool. Either that or they're killing someone.
True.
And some guy made like a parody song. It's like, I wake up in the morning and I get a gabagool. It's so funny, and I occasionally watch it whenever I feeling a little bit down, a little bit depressed with life. I listen to that. It gives me a good laugh. So what else is there? I mean, anyways, so we watch a lot of them and we're like, you know what? There's a lot of people that live in the States that grew up in an Italian household in the States, but there's nobody, at least that I know of, there's nobody that actually grew up in Italy in an American. So it's literally the opposite.
The opposite.
Yeah.
So like an American Italian in Italy.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Growing up with the Italian culture, because I don't know anything about the American culture. Like if I go to New York and like, oh yeah, we do this and we do that, I'm like, I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
Do whatever the hell you want. And
I mean, I haven't been to the States until like the first time I actually set foot in the United States, I was 21.
Yeah, the first time I set foot in the United States was 4 years ago. I'm 41, so I'm 41.
Yeah, so we're basically like Americans that have grown up overseas. It's like the Italian Americans that grew up in the States, and then they finally make that trip to go to Italy, to go to their hometown. And
they go there, and it's like a small town in the middle of nowhere, and they're like,
small town. Oh, my grandpa grew up here. Like,
where's a Walmart? Where's a McDonald's?
That's like us, but like reverse Uno.
Yeah. That's exactly how it is. And yeah, when I went, being an Italian, if I would go to the States, I'd probably go to a place like New York, which I've never been to.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You've been there a couple of times. Only
once,
Florida.
I've been there once.
Yeah. So I went to Florida to visit my parents, and it was a total culture shock because like everything is huge and the portions are gigantic of the food of everything, and I'm not a small person by any stretch of the imagination, but still, whenever I went there and they were bringing me these portions that are huge, because I ordered like a cheesesteak, and I expected here like a cheesesteak is like this big. They brought me this monster like that with a loaded potato next to it. The potato was like this big. I'm like, su magna sta roba. And
when we go back, I'm always like, when we first get there, like Patrick's eyes are much bigger than his stomach. Patrick's my husband, by the way.
Same thing with, because you open the menus and they have these beautiful pictures, colorful pictures.
So I already go by the thing like, Pat, do you want to like split something? He's like, no, I'm gonna have my own portion.
I did the exact same thing.
He orders his and I order mine, but I know I'm not going to finish it, so I already know that I'm going to bring half of it home. And he brings half of his home. He's like, we should have split that. I was like, yeah, we should have split that, and you should listen to me more.
Yeah, I mean, generally, it's other than what our mother cooks us when we actually go to Florida and visit, at least I am, to a certain extent, kind of a food snob when it comes to Italian food.
Yeah.
Meaning that, okay, if I go eat I've tried all types of pastas and pizzas, even the American style pizzas. I love them, but it's an American pizza. It has its place. But if you go to a place that's Neapolitan pizzeria and then you walk inside and they serve you nothing that looks nothing like a Neapolitan pizza, or pineapple on pizza, which somebody likes actually.
That's gonna be a whole different podcast.
Yeah, I stopped talking to her for a couple of weeks because of that. Anyways.
I actually converted mom.
What? I didn't know that. What the fuck?
I converted mom because my kids... Okay, should we do it on this one? We're just going to go flat out.
Just a little bit.
Okay, so my kids love pineapple on pizza because we ordered the American pizza here and they have the Hawaii pizza. So it has pineapple and ham. Okay?
Yeah, but you're teaching them wrong.
Why? I'm teaching them to try everything.
Yeah, they can try everything. But
and if they try it and they like
I've tried some weird food in my life, but I refuse to have the pineapple on the pizza.
You have had mom's her ham, her sweet ham, that she used to cook it with slices of pineapple on it.
But it's not a pizza.
But it's ham with pineapple. Now just add that to a bread with tomato sauce and cheese. It's so much better.
So, guys, this is the last podcast. We haven't even started.
I mean, I'm not saying it's better than the conventional Italian Neapolitan pizza like Agapricciosa or like Quattro Stagioni, which are my favorite. I'm not saying it's better than that.
Look.
But once in a while, it's nice because I like the sweet and the sour. Like when Grandma used to put raisins in the meatballs.
Yeah, but that's because it's part of the tradition. It's part of the culture.
There's people
pineapple
who don't
on pizza
like that.
is not
Raisin and meatballs. If you ask, half the Italian Americans probably don't do raisins and meatballs. Half of the Italians don't do raisins and meatballs. If you go down to Puglia, they don't do raisins and meatballs.
Yeah, because it's probably not a tradition there. It's a tradition where
in Naples, exactly. And so that's the sweet and savory thing. And the same thing with pineapple on pizza.
Sti cose ne capisco. I don't understand. I mean, look, I'm not the biggest fan of raisins, for example. Like, I'm not going to actively go out and buy them. They're good. Yeah, whatever. My kids eat them. But if I have meatballs, there has to be raisins inside. Raisins, pinoli. What else did Mom used to put in them? Parsley? Yeah. Parsley, for example.
Parmigiano.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Lots of Parmigiano.
Bread. And you see, that's the thing that I miss the most. Because the bread that you'd make the meatballs with is Neapolitan bread, which is
pane cafone.
Wait, what is it? Come si chiama the sour? It's a sourdough bread, and it's called pane cafone. Cafone is like how could you translate cafone in English? Like a low
class.
Yeah. Cafone is like someone who's low class.
Poor man's bread.
Exactly. Okay, poor man's bread. I mean,
but even though poor people aren't cafone.
Yeah, poor people.
Cafone, low class.
Let's go low class. And if anyone knows anything of the Neapolitan culture, just look up Cafone. You know, they have the weddings with these like 9 billion people at the weddings. It's fucking amore mia. They put this Neapolitan singers. That's Cafone because exactly. So that is considered low class. Not really poor people. I mean,
neo-melodic.
That's what it's called. Neo-melodico.
Neo-melodica.
Even though there's that one song. Senza te non posso stare perché tu mi appartieni perché mi piaci tu. I love that song. Don't ask me why. I can't explain it, but I love that song, and occasionally I listen to it and I send it to as many people as possible because then I tell them that I like it.
Okay, so we're going off topic.
No, and considering that I listen to heavy metal and death metal and all that stuff, mostly, a big laughing session starts out because I send them. Melodica. Yeah, exactly. That's nice. But anyways, so for me when I went to the States, at least in Florida, the American food is not. I don't know how to explain this. It doesn't. Like a majority of it doesn't really taste like anything. It's like
all tastes the same.
Yeah.
It's all very rich. Yeah, I find American food very rich.
It's like
and very heavy.
Yeah, especially heavy.
I mean, like that's the feeling I get. So whenever I go to the States, I go back to visit mom and dad. I can go out and eat probably like once, twice, once in a while, but I can't go out and eat food in an American restaurant every day.
Well, you see, that's going to be a problem for me because you're flying out, I think, in December 20th.
Yeah.
So she's flying on the 20th with her family, and I'm flying on the 28th. And because I also have I'm also a food blogger, which, by the way, I'll put a link in the description of whatever. If this is on YouTube, it'll be on the description. Whatever. It's called Gusti Legali. Mm-hmm. So I've started doing this in August, and I pretty much go around, talk, eat, and then that's it. So it's mainly in Italian. The YouTube channel is in Italian, but I also have an Instagram page where it's in Italian, English, and in German because we're in Austria and I want to sort of get more restaurant. That's the idea. Let's see what happens if I stop doing it in a week. Who knows?
I think you should continue it.
No, of course I'm going to continue it. Why would I stop it? I have no idea.
I love your videos.
Really?
Yeah. I look for it. I get the notification that YouTube Carlo Magno has posted another video. I was like,
yeah, I can't click on it. A new one comes out today. I think at like 1:15. I programmed it. I went to this thing with Tartufo, Truffle Fest something. It was on last Saturday. Yeah, and it's I'll be honest. I didn't really eat that much in the video. I didn't really eat that much. And the video's like 9 minutes long.
Really?
Yeah. Whatever.
So okay. Here's the thing. Here's a question. So Italians and food. What to you? How important is food for an Italian?
It's very important.
From a scale of 1 to 10.
It's very important. Yeah, 30. 30. I mean, the thing is, unfortunately, I have to try and limit my carb intake and all this stuff like that. I will try to eat only once a day, for example, because I'm overweight, and that's the only way that I can sort of regulate myself is just forcing myself to eat once a day. And but I think about food all the time.
Yeah, me too.
Like I could, if they would say to me, like, what is the one thing you could eat every day for the rest of your life? For me, it would be a regular spaghetti al sugo.
Oh, Patrick makes a good one.
Yeah.
With the fresh tomato sauce?
Yeah.
Fresh tomatoes?
Fresh tomato sauce, and then Parmigiano, and then like the basil on top. Like I could eat that every single day. I can't, but I would. But it's got to be the good tomatoes, not these things which they collect when they're green and then they have no taste.
So what do you like? What do you like? The San Marzano, like what everyone's like, oh, the good tomato San Marzano is the only way to make sauce. I honestly like cherry tomatoes.
Is there tomato's a tomato?
No. Are you high?
No, not anymore. No, but the weird. I mean, I don't know how to explain this because
So the fresh tomato sauce needs to be made with cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, but Naples they mostly use San Marzano.
It depends. They use San Marzano to make the passata, which are the sauce reserve that you have all year. We are not getting into that right now.
Let's make some gravy. Hey, got some Sunday gravy.
We don't do Sunday gravy.
Yeah, we don't do that.
We don't do Sunday gravy.
But actually, it is common in Italy that on Sunday they have the big meal and the families get together. Yeah, il ragù della domenica.
We do bolognese.
But you're not from Bolognese.
Bolognese is a Neapolitan dish. It's not a.
What? Is it?
I think so. We gotta fact check this before I say something stupid.
We'll get into that in another episode.
1 to 10, it's 30. I think it's 32. Like I think of food all the time. I wake
32?
up. No, 30.
Also.
I think of food all the time, and I think I annoy Patrick with my food questions. And there's not one thing that I could eat for the rest of my life. I can't. And if today I eat one thing, I can't eat the same thing tomorrow. Like,
yeah, but
I like to diverse the food I eat.
Me too. But if there is literally just only one thing which they say you can never eat anything else.
Pizza.
Pizza. Yeah, for
me. Una bella margherita.
Yeah.
Margherita, I would eat that every day. But the good one. The one from Napoli.
Yeah.
A pizza portafoglio.
No, not even that.
Have you ever had that?
Yeah, I had it many times, but they make them differently. Like there's less sauce on it. There's like a little dab of fior di latte in the middle.
Yeah, but it's so good.
Yeah, but you have to get it from the right place because you go there and
one as soon as you get out of the metropolitana Montesanto, there's a one che stava qua là che ti vendeva la cosa, i capelli inzuvati, tutta azzeccata in capo.
I used to go there all the time because whenever
what inzuvos?
No, come si chiama? Zuzzusa. Però Zuzzusa, so how can you translate Zuzzusa? Zuzzusa is someone who's like greasy and just like dirty. And there was and in Naples there was it's like a rosticceria, friggitoria, a place that just made like, it was like a restaurant, but they specialize in like pizzas and fried stuff, and they nicknamed it Zuzzusa because it was just grease everywhere. But the food was so good.
Yeah, you have to walk in there like this and just order and pay and then.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't dirty. It was like.
I don't think I've ever gone to Zuzzusa just because the idea of Zuzzusa.
No, it was like Piazza del Gesù, and then you would just walk down. There's like that hill that walks down towards the main road.
Yeah.
And then like right there on the corner there was Zuzzusa. I don't know what the real name of the restaurant is. I don't even know if it's still called Zuzzusa because they probably changed it owners like 45 times in the last 30 years.
So when you go back to Italy, like, what's your favorite thing to do when you go back? What's the things that you're like, okay, I'm going to go back home and this is my itinerary. This is what I'm going to do. Because we just did a road trip to Italy and we did exactly what we wanted to do.
I mean, my first thing would be eat.
Eat.
Yeah.
Food.
Because the thing is also where we grew up, there's the mozzarella.
Yeah.
Like the best mozzarella on the planet, for me, still hands down, is Ponte a Mare.
Even though my lactose intolerance does not have me enjoy the mozzarella afterwards. But as I'm eating it, I really enjoy it.
Well, you know what? If you're lactose intolerant, that's your problem. That's your fault.
Yeah, I know. The thing is, they don't make lactose-free mozzarella di bufala. They should find a way to do it.
Why should they?
For the lactose intolerant that then suffer.
They have these lactose intolerant pills. Just take that.
That shit does not work.
Well, whatever. I don't.
At least don't work with me.
I don't have that problem. I mean, yeah, if I eat a lot of ice cream or a lot of milk products, then sure. But I have to eat like a lot of it. Like last night, I ate a whole 500-gram ball of. It's not the mozzarella. It's the one from Bari.
Burrata.
La burrata.
La burrata barese.
Yeah, because there's the.
La burrata barese.
It's really, it's so good, and so I ate the whole thing while I was waiting.
Where'd you get that from?
I mean, nowadays everyone sells it. Like every supermarket here sells it pretty much.
A burrata.
Yeah.
You got a supermarket?
No, I didn't get it at the supermarket, but there's those friends of mine that come from Alba.
Okay.
You know, the ones that have the tartufo and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
That they're at the Vinmite.
Yeah.
They're here this week. So they occasionally have like these cheeses with them that they bring from Italy.
Oh, so they have the burrata. Probably not anymore. You probably bought it all.
No, I just bought one. The only thing was if 500 grams.
I like how you answered me. No, I just bought one.
No, it was 10 euros for the one bottle, but it was 500 grams.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Yeah, and then I also bought some truffle, like a little bottle of
truffle oil.
Yeah, but it's like olive oil with like truffle inside.
Nice.
And it's real truffle because I went to this truffle thing last week, and then this friend of mine who comes here, his name is Michele. He's like, that's Alba it's like in Piemonte, like northern Italy. I think it's in the border with France. It borders with France, right?
I don't know. I'm terrible in geography.
Congratulations. So, and Alba is very well known for their truffles. They're amazing, like really amazing.
Alba Chiara.
Yes, probably. And so we were talking about it, and he, this friend of mine, he's very passionate about truffles because he also has actually co-owns this company that trains dogs to go and look for truffles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want to get one of those dogs, but to look for funghi porcini.
Yeah, but You don't find any of both and any of those two here.
They have funghi porcini.
Porcini qui.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they probably taste like.
No, they're really good. I've gone mushroom picking.
Yeah, what the schwammerl?
No. Funghi porcini, Steinpilze.
Oh, is that what does it?
Yeah. The forests here are full of them. From Italy, they come across the border and come and get the Steinpilze in Salzburg. And there's like a border control that the police, before you leave, if they see that you have Italian plates, they will stop you because there's a limit on how many kilos of mushrooms you're allowed to take out of Austria.
I did not know that.
Yeah, see, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, learn something every day.
And they have probably the best, some of the best funghi porcini in Austria, actually.
Yeah, but the Italian ones are the best.
Imported from Austria.
I mean, that'd be funny. They import they import them to Italy, and because they're packaged in Italy, that's a thing nowadays.
Yeah.
They take something from outside of Italy, they bring it into Italy, and then they package it in Italy, so it's made in Italy.
But do we want to talk about the origins of many dishes of Italian food?
No, we'll get into it in another episode. I didn't actually look at all the facts for that yet, so we'll.
We need to read the book and fact check to see if it's accurate or not.
Yeah, but the book, they don't have it. There's no audio book, and I don't want to spend. It was like $30 for the book or some weird high price for that. But eventually we'll get to that.
A book of lies. That's what it is. It's a book of lies.
Is it?
I don't know. I want to say it is. It's completely destroying our culture, I think.
Mm. So moving on to the next point, I know I did, and I know you did also for sure, but so growing up in an American household in Italy, we had sort of like a identity problem, meaning that we never really fit in, it was very difficult to fit in to. If you try to make American friends, you're too Italian for them. If you try to make Italian friends, then it happens that you're too American for them. So
you never fit in. You're always the outsider.
Yeah, and that for example, I don't know if I don't think people that are born and raised in New York, I don't think they have that problem because there's a huge community that's the same.
I think they do.
Do they?
I think there's a lot of discrimination when it comes to anyone who's different in anywhere you go. So I'm pretty sure they do because, their parents are a little bit different because they're Italian and they speak with an accent. And so therefore they still have, I see that with my kids too. We live in Austria and me and my husband are both Italian Americans who moved to Austria. So we're super foreign here. We're the ultimate foreigners. And then my kids Matthias is now going to elementary school, and I see his friends ask him, why does your mom speak so strangely? Why does your mom sound so strange? Mm-hmm. And so whenever some kids kind of don't really want to come over to our house because they don't understand us when we speak because we speak English.
Is that true?
Yeah. So they kind of feel shy to come over. But they invite Matthias over, which is fine. I mean, I'm fine with that, but, get around my hair a little bit. But sometimes they're kind of shy when they come over because they think that we don't speak German. And then when I kind of speak to them in German, they get a little bit more.
That's the reason why my kids started speaking with me more in Italian, because they're convinced I don't speak German. While my German is not perfect, I can speak it rather decently.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's always discrimination. Now we get it a lot more because we're Italian Americans in Austria. So we do not belong at all here.
I found a simple solution to that.
What?
I am never discriminated.
Why? What's the solution?
Because I just never leave the house.
No, that's not a solution.
I never leave the house. It's beautiful. Nice and warm in here. We're in my place.
I unfortunately have to leave the house. But for example, in my job, I don't find too much discrimination, at least not anymore, because my German's gotten much better. But I really don't find discrimination because I'm I identify as an Italian seamstress. So Italian and fashion and seamstressing is always they don't look down on it. They actually oh wow.
Oh yeah, good. Because Italy has
is the capital of fashion.
That'll also be a topic for a future episode.
Yes.
For another episode.
We'll talk about my job on another episode. But yeah, discrimination. We did grow up with a lot of it, and we never really fit in. And I had a really hard time making friends. I think my friends were your friends.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't make friends.
Well, it's because you're not really much of a sociable person. You're Taurus. I'm a Gemini. Geminis, we never shut up. So
obviously.
You're married to one, so.
Yes.
And he never shuts up.
And for a person that doesn't like the sound of his own voice, he just can't shut the fuck up.
He says that?
He does. Patrick, I love you.
I don't understand that. Like, how can you not like the sound of it's your voice. So, when I hear my voice, I'm like, I do sound kind of a little bit nasally sometimes.
I think in your head, you think you sound a lot better than what you do on recording.
Probably. But then, for example, like, I've heard a lot of people say, like, wow, you have a nice... Like, if I talk like this, like, yes, I'm a presenter type of deep voice. And
you have a nice voice, and you can also like imitate a lot of people, like a lot of voices and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's one thing that I can hear sound, like I can imitate the sounds that I hear.
That's a big talent that you got right there.
Yeah, but it's a useless
But do we want to talk about language? Let's talk about language. So, growing up Italian American, they used to ask me a lot. I'm sure they used to ask you, what language do you think in? What language do you dream in?
Oh, Jesus.
What language do you speak at home? And the answer, at least the answer to me that I give to, because I thought about it, like even I would have like a crisis identity. It's like, what language do I think in? Or like, what language do I dream in? I don't know. And I think like the Italian American language is a language in its own. Like you'll start a sentence in Italian and then you finish it in English.
Well, yeah, if you can't like
when you're with a similar person, like when me and you are like having a conversation.
That's usually if you can't find the word in whatever language you're talking.
You just like switch it. But
how do you say Burkina?
Burkina. But it's like the language. It's like it's its own language. It's an Italian American, and they ask me that now because, for example, me and Patrick, we're both Italian American, and we speak. Okay, the language that we speak the most is English, but there's a lot of Italian like thrown in the middle of that. And so there's a lot of Italian American being spoken at our house. And I never paid attention to that until my friends would come over and they'd be like, I can't follow your conversation when you guys are talking. Like between me and you, or like between me and my parents.
That's because they should learn how to speak Italian. It'd be much easier.
Or English. Yeah. Whenever we were growing up in Italy. So growing up in Italy, like I would start talking to mom, for example, and I would say, I'd start in Italian and then English would come out and then I'd finish the phrase in English and my friends would follow the conversation until I'd switch and then they're like, I'm lost.
Yeah, I usually do it like if I'm meeting up with some friends or something, or I'm doing this course, like everyone speaks German. I start a sentence in German and then it ends usually like in English because I need to use like a lot of my brain power to actually think.
So you speak English.
English?
English.
Is that a thing? Yeah. Jesus. They have a name for everything. God. And so I generally, I don't know what to tell you, like what language I speak mostly in, because like I send all my best friends are Italian. So of course if I send them a message on WhatsApp, it's in Italian. I dream in English though.
Do you?
That I actually do.
I don't know what language I dream in. I just dream.
Yeah, but I think the couple of times that I actually dreamt of something or people talking or whatever, it was in English.
Really? I think it depends on who's in the dream. Like if you're having a dream that you're somewhere with Raffaele. Yeah. It's not going to be in English.
I don't know.
See?
I don't know.
See?
But like that's why I said the times that someone was talking that I could recognize, they were talking in English. I don't know. I can't remember now if it was someone.
Do you ever find yourself like whenever you're in a place where everyone speaks English, right? And you're thinking about something, and it's like a negative thing, like what the fuck's that guy wearing or whatnot? But you're just thinking it.
Usually when I think,
do you ever find yourself thinking in Italian or like in the language that you know they don't understand, even though they can't read your mind?
Neapolitan. 100%.
So whenever you're thinking something that's negative about someone, you think in the language that you know they're not going to understand.
Yeah,
and I find myself doing that. Like when I went to Italy, I started thinking like stuff like that in fucking German.
Oh no, I never did that.
Because I'm like, okay, this person, like my brain thinks like this person speaks English, understands English and is in Italian. So I'd be like, was ist los mit diesen Idioten?
No,
right?
I I don't do that.
And then I'm like, did I just think in German?
I don't do that. For me, if I have to like for example, it's always Neapolitan. Like all the offenses, or I'm not, like for example, if someone's wearing something weird, I'm like, cazzo di non gorilla, ma che sei misa? And then I sometimes I wind up saying it out loud, and I start doing this, and people are looking at me like, and I look at them like, cazzo what the fuck?
But you see, you can do that because you're a big guy. If I do that, I get my ass kicked.
Wow.
But today I was actually hustling to go catch the metro to come to you, and some woman with a freaking suitcase is like trawling her suitcase, and I'm going a little bit to the right, and she's going to the right, to the left, and I'm going to the and I'm just like,
I hate that.
I was like, Madam, She's
Italian.
No, but it just came out of my mouth.
That happened to me a couple of weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I was with my kids. We had to get the bus at Hütteldorf, the bus that would take them back home, because my kids live with my ex-girlfriend outside of the city, and we didn't know. I didn't know exactly, because the first time we took the bus from that station that would bring us all the way to the destination, and
final destination.
Yeah. And so I go there with the boys, and there was a bus that pulled up. I thought it was that bus. So the door opens. I'm like this. I'm like, excuse me. The guy opens up. He's like, look, I just got here. I got a 15-minute break. I'm like, no, I just wanted to ask, does this bus go to so-and-so? And they're like, no, it doesn't. I'm like, okay, if it would, does it come here? He's like, I don't know. I'm on my break. And then my son asked me, what's the problem? What's going on? And I tell him in Italian. I tell my son in Italian.
Don't tell me the bus driver was Italian.
He spoke Italian.
Oh, fuck my life.
So I tell my son, he's like, you know what? I don't know. The bus driver, he said he wants to rest. He said he wanted to rest, but it came out spontaneously. I don't know. He says he wants to sleep. And the bus driver looks at me and answers me in Italian, no, I don't want to sleep, but I just got here. I want to take a break for like 15 minutes. I'm like,
poor guy.
I'm like,
probably been driving all.
I'm like, no, I just talked to the kids. And I said, whatever. I just said,
at least you didn't call many names.
Minolata, Jesus Christ, I've done that. No.
Sometimes
sometimes if something happens and I'm walking away, I tend to say my strunz or something like that. I never really say. I've learned my lesson.
A lot of Austrians do speak and understand Italian here.
Yeah, they do because
we're like right next to the border.
We're next to Italy, and a lot of them go to Italy to ski.
To ski.
That's what they all told me. Is like, oh yeah, I know how to speak Italian because we go every year to ski on the Alps.
To ski, really? I know they go to Lignano Sabbiadoro to go to the
probably that
worst beach in Italy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. The town is really nice. I actually like the town a lot.
Have you been to Lignano?
Yeah, multiple times.
Really?
Yeah, but I was I had no choice, and I had to go into a camping. I don't know why Austrians are so fixated on camping.
Oh my God, camping and hiking. Camping and hiking.
Yeah, hiking. I mean, hiking. The way my ex used to convince me to go hiking like walking, like not actually climbing a mountain, but just regular, was that at the destination there would be a restaurant that would make like schnitzel and stuff like that.
What mom does for dad when she wants him to go like
andiamoci a fare una
passeggiata. Oh no, yeah, attaccato gelato.
Yeah,
and then he's like, okay, let's go get an ice cream.
It works because look, I know I should walk more, but I don't want to walk for like 6 hours up the side of a large mountain, and then you got to walk back down, and then you're dead. A lot of times you have to drive back, and you're like, I just wish I was sleeping right now. It sucks. So that's why I try to walk as little as possible.
I mean, walking is actually very healthy.
Yeah, I know it's
probably one of the healthiest things you could do for yourself.
I know the problem is I can't even go outside and walk now, because if I go outside and walk and it's cold, I sweat a little bit, I get sick.
Yeah.
So probably get one of these walking treadmills. I'm looking into getting that I could just put it here.
Seriously?
Like the flat ones, just to get to 10,000.
So you're just never gonna get out of the house.
I mean, if I have to go buy food,
is that your goal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I get so much more done when I'm here. Look, if you start to get to a point, you start to have a lot of friends and you have relationships and all that, you go out, then you start spending money, which I don't have, start spending money on drink here and eat there. And then you can't, I need to focus on my things, but that's not even the topic for this episode. So anyways, I think we've covered enough for the first episode. We should just end it here. Guys, if you like this episode, whatever, if you're watching if you're listening to it on Spotify or watching it on Instagram or wherever you see it or hear it, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know like what kind of topics you want us to cover in future episodes. And yeah, grazie assai. So, from Carl and from Josie.
Saludo más sordo.
Saludo más sordo. Was Accarezza Salsiccia. You forgot that. That's originally what I wanted to actually call it. That actually was she proposed it. I said that would be a great name for a podcast. Accarezza Salsiccia.
I think we should have called it Saludo más sordo. I think that's gonna be the title of this podcast, of this episode. Saludo más sordo.
Whatever. But anyways, guys, we've gone long enough. It was supposed to be like 15, 20 minutes, but I think we got like over almost an hour.
I think this is 2 episodes right here.
No, we'll make it 1 episode.
All right.
Guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Saludos más sordo.
Accarezza Salsiccia.
Bye.
Ciao.